Okay, everyone, welcome to the Wow Factor, differentiating yourself and your legal practice. We will start this in just a moment. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Bree Van Til. I'm the Director of Education at Alt Legal and your Master of Ceremonies for Alt Legal Connect. You should see on the screen our code of conduct. As a reminder, don't be a jerk. And if somebody else is being a jerk to you, at this conference, not like in general, we can't help you in general, but if they're being a jerk to you at this conference, let us know. As far as the Q&A, whether you are joining us in Brella or in Big Marker, please, please, please use the Q&A. I know Sonia really wanted this to be super interactive, so please make sure to do that. And of course, I want to introduce Sonia Lakhany. Not that she needs any introduction. I think everybody here knows who she is. But she is the founder of Lakhany Law, PC. She focuses her practice on counseling business owners on how to use trademark registrations to protect their catchy business names, logos, and taglines. In addition to managing her firm, Sonia also teaches other attorneys to practice trademark law, market, and work smarter, not harder. She's considered a national expert in her field, and as her work has been recognized and featured by numerous media outlets such as Bloomberg, Entrepreneur Magazine, Glamour Magazine, Business News Daily, and CBS. Sonia received her Bachelor of Arts in Communication at USC and her JD from Emory Law School. And she did additional coursework for an IP Masters of Law program at George Washington University. Everybody, let's welcome Sonia and take it away. It's all you.
Hey, the part that didn't make it into the bio is that she always has an iced coffee in her hand. If it's before 5 o'clock and after, it's going to be a glass of champ. But I have this like beverage consumption issue. I always like to have something that's like right here, sippable while I talk and work. Thank you guys for making time in your schedule to join my talk today. I know there's a lot of familiar faces in here and some new ones. So just so I can get the experience as a speaker of an audience somewhat, as much as we can simulate it, throw a 1 in the online chat if you are already in my world Facebook group, you've taken one of my trainings. We know maybe you follow me on Instagram, we chatted on DM. Put a 1 in the chat if you're already familiar with me and you're already in my world, we've already interacted in some way. And then put a 2 if you're like, who's this girl? Let me see what's up. Like, hi, because I want to know who's familiar and who's new. So while those are coming in, I'm going to just go ahead. Oh God, look at all those ones. Look at all those ones. Well, today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics that honestly is the beginning of it all, which is marketing, right? Every time I have a conversation with somebody, hey, Leah, nice to meet you. Hey, Jen. Hey, Jeanette. Hey, Matthew. Lots of 1s and 2s. I love the combination. So this is a favorite topic of mine. Why? Because anytime I talk to a trademark attorney who's new, aspiring, or on the veteran end, right, we always have the question of like, how do I get more clients? How do I market? And you know, that is, thank you, Linsa. Thank you for the link. So that's something that comes up a lot, right? Is how do I get more clients? How do I market? And of course, it's the beginning of the whole show, right? You got to get clients through the door. You want people calling you and emailing you. But what I say often, and if you've been one of my students, if you've taken anything of mine, you know that what I say often is that marketing is only one slice of the pie, right? Because can you convert those leads, right? Can you have that sales conversation? Can you make sure that if someone is calling you that they're actually retaining you, right? That's something I teach around. But then what we're actually talking about, which is the third sort of stage, is retention, right? Client retention. If I put somebody in your world and you manage to convert them and make them a client, can you keep them as a client? Can you get them to then send you clients? Because isn't that a way better form of advertising, right? I mean, it's somewhat free in a way, which we'll talk about today. And it's so much more reliable and so much easier and better in a lot of ways. So that's what we're talking about today. I call it the wow factor because to me, that is something that wows my clients. It has for years. It has gotten me to where I am. And it's something that, you know, is necessary to share, right? You guys can implement these starting today. So there I am. There's the intro slide. Let me go to the next one here. So hi, I'm Sonia. I saw a lot of twos, so I do want to introduce myself just again briefly, and maybe some of my ones will learn something you didn't realize about me today. So I'm Sonia. I'm the founder of an award-winning trademark law practice. That is what put me on the map. I've been doing it for over 10 years now, practicing almost nothing but trademark law. So that is it's been a great career and a long journey. I recently crossed this firm 7 figures in revenue. A lot of people ask, and they want to know if it's just firm revenue or if that's in part from my trainings and courses, and it is not. That is separate and apart because you can't mesh the two. So recently crossed that. I was just as appalled as you might be when my CPA told me that, because I didn't realize it. So it was pretty super exciting, and I realized that, there is something to kind of the way that I've gone about things. And it's why I enjoy teaching so much, because there is no reason that one person or a few people need to hog all the knowledge, right? So if you're in my world already, you already know that I really try to share as much as I can. So that being said, many of you may know me as the creator of 2 Weeks to Trademarks, the first and only online trademark course for attorneys, paralegals, and maybe law students that actually teaches you this area of law, but also teaches you how to grow, monetize, and build a trademark practice with marketing systems, tools, apps, and all the behind the scenes. So you may have taken a CLE or two or a nuts and bolts kind of a thing, but you have not learned trademark law until you've learned it from me via 2 Weeks to Trademarks. And I've got a lot of ones in here that could probably attest to that. So as Bree mentioned, by way of education, I went to Emory for undergrad. I'm from Southern California, and that's where I did undergrad, and that's where I'm here now. I've relocated. I've moved around the country, and before coronavirus, now it won't let me be great, but I was traveling the world and enjoying an amazing career and just being digital and being wherever I wanted. I was at a dozen countries a year, but say no more. Now I'm in California, where today it's 61, and I definitely saw puffer jackets because that's winter to us. It's really windy. I did some time at GW in the IPLLM program. And since then, I've gone on to win several awards and lots of recognition, which has been great. It's a testament to a lot of the time and effort I've put into building my career. And in terms of law practice and associate, I was an associate for the first 5-ish years since 2010. And then since January 2015, I resigned and started my own practice, which is what you see. And somewhere in that time frame, a few years ago, I started teaching courses, which started with 2 Weeks to Trademarks and has expanded into Office Action Bootcamp, T-Tabulous, Search Academy, and a whole range of classes on working smarter, not harder, and better practice. So you can take a look at some of those. I'll give you the link on the next slide. But all that to say that I did start after 2008. So for those of you that might be stressing the economy right now, I was stressing it too back then. I was like, oh, I'm graduating in the worst economy, and oh my God, what am I going to do? It's testament and it's proof that you don't have to have been in business for years and years to make it, whatever making it means, right? And I have definitely accomplished a lot of the goals that I set forth at that time, not just financial, but notoriety, for recognition, for connection, for being a resource and building a community. These were all goals I had. When I was struggling trying to build a career and I didn't know how to learn trademarks, I set a goal and said, I will never let this happen to a next wave of attorneys. After me, we'll make sure that there's plenty of knowledge and resources and community to share. So that's kind of why, some of the why and purpose behind why I've created some of the things I have. But all that to say, I was not in the top 10%, wasn't in law and law review, didn't do moot court, no big law firm experience, none of that stuff. And, I didn't have rich parents either, right? So completely self-made here. And I say this stuff and I want transparency, because if you are any of these things, you can also be some of those things too, right? So there's no reason to feel like the factors are stacked against you. It's really what you make of it. And a lot of the stuff I'm going to teach you guys about today will help override some of those factors that you may feel like an imposter syndrome about. Any questions before we dive in? Just keep the chat running. I think there's just a slight, maybe 10-second delay from what I understand with the technology of my platform versus yours. So if you throw a question or a comment in the chat, I will see it. It'll just be just slightly delayed. So I always like to make sure we have ways of staying in touch before I start. And then at the end, I'll repeat this. But if you're interested in any of the courses, lakhanylaw.com, the courses tab will show you lots of stuff. Many of you are part of my Facebook lawyers group. If you're not, please, someone put a link there, but all you have to do is search trademark attorney / lawyers and you will find it. My picture will be front and center blasted. Thank you so much. I appreciate the links there. That is my assistant, Charlotte, who is pretending to be me. And if you've gotten emails or any kind of correspondence, there's a good chance she was behind some of it. Delegating and duplicating yourself is a topic for another day, but thank you, Charlotte. On Instagram, if you are a user, I'm Trademark Lawyer Lady. Follow me, I'll follow you back. And it's a great way to stay in touch and just kind of share some day-to-day type of stuff. Twitter, same thing, just a slightly shortened handle. And then of course, LinkedIn, first name, period, last. And below you see obviously my law practice as well as my other course and some of the ventures I've created lately. So you may have seen on the conference schedule, BYOL. That stands for bring your own laptop. So obviously when I originally designed this panel, when it was supposed to be in person, I had envisioned computers and mimosas and like us working together and me walking around the room and helping you guys like really roll up your sleeves and get in. So we're trying to simulate that. So we don't have the mimosas, we have laptops. We are still BYOL. And the reason that I say that, because I don't want you to just take a bunch of notes and I don't want you to have a bunch of browser tabs open like, oh, that's a good idea. Let me write that down for later and let me do that someday. We don't do some days, right? I want you to create a plan, actually think about the stuff I say today and say, okay, what of that can I do today? Like, or what can I get started on? What can I look up later and, make a plan to do, even if it's small steps, like, right? Like, even if it's something small, I'm a big believer in moving the needle, like 1%, 2%. You are not going to be able to implement everything I'm talking about today. There's no way, right? But if you make a plan to do so, Ed, I wish that I could join you for those, but I do envision someday like a retreat for my Facebook lawyers group, right? Like someday after all this is over, I just want to get us all onto a beach, a resort, and, talk about trademarks and working smarter, not harder, and drinking, because that's always makes it more fun. The emoji, I just think it's funny how when you put emojis into slides, they end up like really Halloween-y and like creepy. It was supposed to be like this smiley, like, hey, small steps. Now it's like creepy horror, like small steps, but that's okay. Okay, so what if I told you that you don't have to be the cheapest trademark lawyer out there or the oldest and the most experienced and work the hardest, longest hours all week long, hustle, grind, Gary V, 24 hours a day, no team, no sleep. What if I told you you didn't have to do any of that, right? But you could still reach whatever your multi-six-figure goal is, that 7-figure, or if it's a legacy impact goal, you want to make a huge donation, you want to buy a building, you want to give out scholarships. What if I told you that that was actually possible, right? And that I'm living proof to show. Is that something that you might be interested in? I want you to put the name of the movie, the show that this came from, because I just really want to see who's able to get this reference. This definitely came from a show, and I'd be really impressed if someone could get it for me. Yes. So
Can you all hear me? Okay, perfect. All right, Sonia, not sure what's going on. If you want to just head back when you can. How's everybody doing today? Hope you're having a good time. Connect. Really appreciate it. While we're waiting, I'd like to hear from all of you in the chat while Sonia is on her way back. Just tell us a little bit about your own background with trying to market, trying to develop, trying to brand your firm.
Hi, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes,
Okay,
we hear
I've been here the whole time, but it's like.
Okay, if you hit the camera button up near the top right.
Hello.
Yeah, Sonia.
Okay.
So if you look near the top, or on the top, there's a navigation bar, and there's an icon that looks like a camera. So click on that, and then that'll take you back to the loading screen. Make sure that your camera is toggled on, and then enter the webinar.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Oh, you're back. Hi. Hi. Let's get your slides back, and you can just pick up from where you left off. You were doing great.
I'm like, hello. Okay. Well, I stopped talking. But you guys gave me life as I'm like powerless. I'm like, I'll just wait, but thank you all for the love. I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, I'm like, wait, what about my presentation? Okay, we're back. We're back. Listen, and you guys, I am around. Like, don't worry if you missed some of it or if you're not clear, like you can come find me later. If we need to do like an encore, like IG live tonight, I will hop on and just sit there while you guys come ask me questions. It's totally fine. Like I'm not going anywhere. Like I love this shit. Okay, so I'm not going anywhere. Don't worry. All right, so back to where we were. So what if I told you could do all this amazing shiny stuff? Is that something that you might be interested in? So somebody got my reference, the Entourage reference, which I'm super excited about. But yes, fact of the matter is you can. Why? Because I am living proof. Seriously, you guys. Satisfied clients, like you do a decent job, they're like, okay, thanks. Yeah, I guess I'll leave a review if you ask me to. You might hunt me down over and over. You might have to send me a bunch of emails with a link and whatever. But delighted clients go out and start talking about you. They'll be like, she's amazing. Oh my God, what can I do? I'm going to post about her on social media. I'm going to leave her a review. I'm going to send her clients, right? I'm going to go out and make sure that other people know if the word trademark is so much as uttered, that you know who to call, right? She did an amazing job and she's who I use and all this kind of stuff, right? Now, one thing that we don't want, which doesn't happen, right, for me often, is that you don't want people to say, oh, she's really reasonably priced. Who here, put a me, if you cannot, like if you cringe at the words reasonably priced or budget friendly, right? Like you don't want to be known as reasonably priced, right? Am I right? Who, like put a me in the chat if you feel like that's not me, I don't want to be that person. Yeah, Yeah. So when I do get referrals, when I do get clients sending me more work, when they introduce me to people, right? Like, you don't want people to do that and say, well, use her because she's reasonably priced. No, use her because she's the best in the game, right? She's amazing at what she does. She will do it. She will get it done, and she'll keep working at it, right? To make sure. Now, that's why you want to be known, right? But the way you get to that piece of it is by doing some of the stuff, the little sparkly stuff. And I know from the group, some of you guys are doing this already, like a little bit, but my goal here is to give you additional ideas to expand on this idea of wow factor customer service, right? Throughout the process, not just when the registration completes, but there are lots of other milestones during the process, afterward, for example, right? So that's what we're going to talk about, right? We're going to talk about wowing the game. So the wow factor, this isn't, I have taught this material, and people are like, all right, well, I mean, I wasn't exactly surprised. Well, my job is not to surprise you today. Okay. I didn't rewrite the game, right? I did not. Building a memorable brand isn't something new that you've never heard of or it's never occurred to you before, right? What I'm here to do today is to help you show you a system and give you the technology and the tools to execute on some of the stuff that you've heard about that doesn't come as a surprise, right? Does that make sense? It's not here to like reinvent the wheel, because like, that's not like, how could I possibly do that, right? But because your competitors are not doing a lot of this, right? Other trademark attorneys in the same field, right? And that's a question that we have come up a lot, is how do I separate myself, right? I have conversations on IG all the time. Like, I feel like I'm saying the same stuff over and over, and I feel like I'm not saying anything different than other trademark attorneys. And, how do I differentiate myself? This right here is how you differentiate yourself, right? This is how you do it. So I just wanted to clear that up before I get a bunch of messages later and hate. So some things you should know about the way that I market, right? The way that, and I say market, but really it's relationship building, developing, and maintaining, right? That's really what I call my marketing. And yes, there is a budget attached to it, and it has gone up obviously since I've been more in practice and had the bandwidth. But when I started out shoestring, like, I love this because it's almost / as close to free 99 as you're gonna get, you guys. Like, it is. So if you're talking about reasonably priced, like, this is a small way to do that, right? So we all like that. And it's just great because it's actually really effective, as opposed to like a shot in the dark. Like, if you've ever done SEO, Google AdWords, like, this isn't that. So I'm not teaching you, not that there's anything wrong with running ads. I've just never done it. And those of you who have taken my material, you know that I stay in my lane. I don't talk about things that I haven't tried, that I haven't done, that I can't speak firsthand of, right? So this isn't that. This is not running ads. This is actually, some of you are trapped at home with kids right now, or, you're on a kind of a weird schedule. Like, this can be done anytime. A lot of this, you can, if you've got 30 minutes, like a break between calls, you can do a little bit of it. If you've got time at night after you put young babies to sleep, you can do some of this. You can do it on the weekend if you want to, right? Like, I'm not an advocate of working on the weekends, but I did a lot of this over the weekends, and sometimes you got to do it, right? So I like that this has the flexibility to just sort of permeate where you have time. And the more, it's like a plant, the more you water it, the more you do of it, the wow factor stuff, the more you'll see a return, right? You're going to get the most bang for your buck with this sort of type of marketing / relationship building than I think some of the other ways. And again, I think it results in the highest likelihood of quality leads, right? You can't guarantee it, you can't slam it out of the park, but you can really up your likelihood there. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm going to teach you guys a little life hack. Some of you may know this if you've spoken with me before, but this is something I call bop the birdie over the net. So how many of you have given a day's worth of consults, like back to back to back, and like nobody retains you, or like one person retained you? I'll wait, because I know there's like a slight delay, but I'll wait because I want to hear if anyone can relate to that. Put a 1 in the chat. Yes, like 2, 3, 4 consults in a row, and you're like, damn it. Like, nobody, what am I doing wrong? Like, you want to scream because you don't know what you're doing wrong. You're like, I explained it. I answered all their questions. They said, okay, thank you, and goodbye, right? How infuriating is that? You wasted all your time. All right, so we're going to give you a rule out of Sonia's playbook, okay? The rule is as follows. If you're going to spend the time to give a consultation, you are going to get the retainer. period dot. Like that. If you're going to spend the time giving a consult, we need to net it. It needs to be a dunk. It's not a maybe. It's not, oh, I hope they retain me. Oh gosh, I answered all their questions. Like there is a way to give a consultation. Like unlike Rhesus, right, where there's no wrong way, there are wrong ways to give consultations. There are. And you know, this talk is not about how to do it, but I will tell you that my close rate is in the 90s. You don't get to 7 figures by playing around and experimenting on how to give a consultation, right? I do have like with most stuff I talk about today, I have a training on that, but that's not what today is about. I want to give you a little tip on what you can do right after a consultation to bop that birdie over the net, in case they want time to think about it, in case they're shopping attorneys, in case, you know, they're just on the fence for whatever reason, right? What can you do right after a consultation to increase your chances of getting retained? Okay, this is my little strategy. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to starbucks.com. You're going to create an account. Okay, you're going to add your business credit card information, tie it in there, have it already auto saved. And then what you're going to do, right? Eventually you can have a team member do this. If you have a VA, this is a perfect job for him or her, right? What you're going to do is if it's a client that you really want, like great work, you enjoyed speaking with them, you know, because sometimes we give consults and you're like, I hope they don't retain me. Like, I really don't want this. So this is not for that. This is like, you really want to make sure, you know, this goes through. You're going to go to Starbucks. You're going to do an e-gift card, right? So I don't know if you know this, but you can give a Starbucks card via email. Yeah. Some of you know this because you've been in some of my trainings. So this is for everybody. It's a reminder. It might be new information if you don't know. When you're going to choose, you can change the amount, right? Change it to $5, $10, whatever. It doesn't have to be like this insane amount, right? You're going to go on there, change it to $5 and say, dear so-and-so, it was a pleasure speaking with you today. Thank you so much for the chance to talk about my firm's services. I look forward with you. Not, I hope you choose me or please let me, you know, like they know they can contact you if they have any more questions. They know all that stuff, right? What you're doing is already standing out from the crowd and saying, I'm already better. I'm already different, right? This is different. So you're going to do a $5 card. You get a certain amount of characters. You're going to say, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. I look forward to working with you. Sonia, all the best, Sonia, right? So you're going to have that sent. Then what you're going to do is so you don't send the follow-up email for the consultation just yet, right? You do that first. And then once it'll give you a notice that it delivered, it arrived. After that, you're going to do your follow-up email and you're going to say, thank you so much for your time today. But whatever your post-consultation, scripting is, right? Preferably with steps to move forward and get started, right? And then you're going to say, by the way, please keep an eye on your inbox because I sent you a little something from Starbucks just as a token of appreciation for taking the time to have a consultation with me. How easy is that, right? Does that seem like something quick and easy that you can do? Like maybe not even after every single consult, but like when your day ends, you can get onto Starbucks, spend 10 minutes and send one to whoever you talk to today. Put a $sign in the chat if you feel like that's something that you could do. I will wait. Yes, you do have to sign it, Sonia, so that I get credit. Not physical gift cards, nope. So if people don't open them, you can send a follow-up email, right? Like that's all you can really do at the end of the day, right? But simple enough, right? Something you can do. So now share with me, have you tried this before? Has it worked for you? Yeah, I mean, listen, if you send me a Starbucks gift card, I will use it tomorrow. I'm telling you guys, it works. You guys, I want to share with you firsthand before I move to the next concept here. I have closed in the beginning when I was doing $500 trademarks. Yes, your girl was doing $500 trademarks at one point, right? Back in the day, year one, when she was worried about, revenue, right? I did a bunch of these. I closed everything from $500 trademarks then to $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 retainers. Because you don't get to 7 figures by doing a bunch of $500 trademarks. You don't, right? And you also don't, it's exhausting, right? Yes, then Sonia is flooded with Starbucks. Yeah, and you know what I love about this, as opposed to something mailed, is there's no delay, right? Because you don't know that potential client, that PC is gonna call somebody else right after you, or if they talk to somebody right before you, like think about it as you're auditioning. You don't know if you're the only audition that day, right? So this isn't like, what I like about it is that the tone is that, you know, it is like, oh, it's like a little sprinkle, like a mic drop, like, oh, it's a pleasure speaking with you, thanks. Not like, please pick me. Like, right, you see, like there's an air of confidence that comes behind this where we just are good at the customer service, right? Let me hit the chat real quick in case there's any questions. I just see a lot of convo, which is great. Ethics issues, it's probably a specific state bar thing, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah, I love Amazon. Anything instantaneous, the key here, right? Because you want it to arrive quickly just in case, you know, before they move on or make, you know, sometimes they're making that decision within minutes. And it has been rare that I don't see a letter of engagement from HelloSign signed, come right back, law pay payment come through within hours. Like, and if not, it's usually that week. It is rare. First of all, like I said, there's a way to give a consultation. If you need help on that, we can chat later. But if you really wanted to over the net, 100%. Yeah, you got to have confidence, guys. Got to have confidence. Okay, so moving on. Now, here are some concepts of what I've always thought WOW customer service entailed. Obviously, due to the tech delays and stuff, I want to stay on time and make sure I get through my materials. So I'm going to leave you guys to read this. I'm pretty sure that they're going to circulate slides and everything. If you need them, if you don't get them, let me know. But I'll let you guys read through these because it's more conceptual. But I like meat. I like sandwich, deli, meat, like take a bite out of the sandwich. Okay. So, what you're going to need if you're going to do this, right? If you're really going to commit to this process, and again, all of you guys who message me about getting new clients and marketing and how to get more clients and how, I'm telling you how, right? Now it's on you to do it. I can't, you know, I have often referred to myself as like a personal trainer in a way. I can teach you everything I know. I'll answer any question you want. Seriously, you can ask me here in the chat. You can DM me. You can email me later. I am as transparent as I possibly could be. Right? But I can't come into your home office and make you do this stuff, right? I'm doing it and some of my students are doing it. And that's why you see, you know, these record months that some of the attorneys in my group are doing. They're not all my students, but some of them are hitting over 100K months, right? Because of some of the stuff that I teach. So I'm not sure she's here today, but one of my students from 2 weeks to trademarks she cleared $15,000 in 4 days. Not from this material, from my consultation framework, right? So there is some juice to what I'm saying, right? And again, I'm not here to hog all the knowledge. I'm here to teach you guys. Like, if you want to do this, please, like, there is plenty of work to go around, right? We're seeing record numbers of trademark filings right now, right? So this is it. This is the time. And if you have 3 clients, you better be wowing and loving on those 3 as much as you can, because it's going to result in then 9 and then 12. It's exponential, right? I was there too. I built a practice in 5 years. I'm only 35. I started my practice when I was like 29 and a half, right? So seriously, like, this can be done. Yes, I absolutely recommend this as an attorney starting out. If you've got $15 in your checking account, 5 of it needs to go to your next consultation for a Starbucks card. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because even if they don't choose you on the off chance and the minimalist off chance, right? Even if they don't choose you, you're going to be memorable. And it's actually happened. I know it sounds crazy, but I've had somebody not move forward with me for like random, unrelated, like, you know, minority of the time reasons, like small chance, but they referred me business later because they were like, you obviously like know what you're doing. You're obviously good at it, right? So couple things here. High-end stationery, get you some branded or monogram stationery. If not, like Papyrus, Amazon has nice stuff. Like, just get you some nice cards, right? And 2 types, ideally. Get you some thank you cards, like ones that actually say thank you. And then all occasion kind of general. So that's a good place if you just have like your firm logo on like blank cards, or some of them just say hello and they're branded like that. Like, just something where it's not like an occasion of sorts, right? Because we're gonna get real comfortable with just because. We are rolling up our sleeves to just because, right? You got to think of occasions. Luckily, you don't actually have to think of them because I'm here, right? But we want things beyond just thank you, because it might not be appropriate yet. And you've got to have excuses to reach out that don't just say, please hire me, please pick me, refer me business, right? These things say that without saying it. And that's really like, it's an important part of what we're talking about. Quality pens, not one that comes out of a 10-pack, please, like get you a nice one. Stamps, return labels. I know the mail situation right now is a little iffy, right? And we won't talk about that today, right? but if the mail still works at the time of this conference, so let's still continue to use it. Post-it notes or some sort of notepad. I'll explain why. And then this is crucial. You got to have some sort of email marketing, CRM kind of software. I did not do the greatest job of this in the beginning of my practice, and I had to kind of catch it on the back end. So my newer attorneys, not new as in you just started necessarily as a lawyer, although that could be true, but I mean newer as in you just started your law practice maybe, or if you're kind of newish. And again, some of my seasoned attorneys, you guys might not be doing this either. I get a lot of private DMs about these sorts of things, you know. I'm not hating on big. I'm just saying, you know, just a nice pen. And also it's for the experience, so you enjoy writing with it too, because you're gonna be doing a lot of these, right? So get you some email marketing software. I've named 2 that are free / relatively cheap, especially like under a certain amount of subscribers. But the idea here is that you want to be tagging people as like potential client, current client, past client, right? We've got to put our clients in buckets. Like, actually, I'm curious here. I want to take a quick poll. Who of you could, if I said tonight, I want you to send one email to your current clients and one to like clients who are done, like the registration's been issued and they're officially past clients. Could you do that with a click of a button? Put yes or no, or Y or N? Like, as in, do you have that set up? Have you been tracking? Do you have a system, like some sort of software where those people are tagged and bucketed? Could you send an email to current clients, past clients, and like potential clients? Like, could you send those quickly? Or are you going to send down some spiral and it's going to be like, oh, I don't know, let me go through my email or whatever. Okay, I'm seeing some yeses. Glenessa, I am not surprised, because y'all, you need to know something. Glenessa, look out for her. She's going to be on the cover of Forbes. I need you guys to know that, because she is at it, on it, and here for it. Like, don't think I don't see what you are doing, and I am so proud of you. Like, I noticed you. I think you are awesome. You are on it, like a lot of you are, but really, like, I see Glenessa a lot, just so you guys know. Right? I got some real winners in my community, I'm telling you guys. Like, some of you guys, I can't wait to see the moves you make. Okay, who else? And if you're a no, tell me why. Like, why? Do you not have the software? Like, you know, what's the situation? Yeah. Okay, we got some no's. That's okay. So here's the thing. We're not here to shame anybody now, yesterday, or tomorrow. That is not how I roll. I ask because this is the BYOL part, right? First thing on your to-do list is look at CRMs. Look at these 2, maybe one more, choose one by the end of the week and be done with it. Like, move on, right? But I'm here to give you like actionable steps so that you can say, yeah, I got to be able to like email my people pretty quickly, right? If I want to send a broadcast and just say, hey, open for consultations this week, or hey, happy whatever, like, you got to be able to do it, right? You know, and this is important. So if you're not collecting email addresses and physical addresses, right? Let's instill a system. I know, Vanessa, I could not agree more. I really could not agree more. But if you don't have a system around this, I need you, like, this is your first item. This is precisely why I call my thing BYOL, because I want you to bring your laptop, take notes. This is an action item. Hello, action item. For those of you who aren't ready to do this, if you can't do it at the drop of a hat, if you cannot pull and export a list of your current clients right now with addresses, emails, we're behind, right? And that's okay, because we're not here to shame anybody, but I'm here to push you. It's a delicate balance, right? Last thing you need is a commitment of 1 to 2 hours a week, right? Preferably the recurring, you know, same day and time appointment, like a standing calendar event with yourself. That's what I prefer, but you know, it varies from person to person. But those of you who message and talk all the time about wanting help marketing and you're not having enough clients, you're not busy enough, get busy on this stuff. I'm telling you, there's no way that it's not going to work. It's not going to make you a millionaire overnight. Okay. Like, let's relax. But this is what you can do instead of sitting around twiddling your thumbs. Okay. So let's get started. Current clients, get your Nordstrom on. Okay. Nordstrom is Nordstrom for a reason, right? Do we not all know, like, the experience when you walk into a Nordstrom is just different. It hits a little different than, like, you know, Target, right? Where no one gives a shit that you're there. They're like, oh, hey, CVS, and they're like, whatever. Nordstrom is like, hi, how can we help you? Can we help you find anything? Can I get a dressing room started for you? At the one in New York, they give you champagne, which I'm a really big fan of. You know, like, they let you walk around with champagne. Like, it's an experience, right? So think about the places that you love shopping at and why they're memorable, why it feels like an elevated experience, right? Now, take yourself out of it, flip it, and put yourself into in your client's shoes, right? Design your client's experience. Visually walk through yourself through each stage, right? From the moment someone is like, hey, I'm DMing you on Instagram because I saw your post on, the difference between Circle R and TM. I have questions about my brand. What happens then, right? Like, do you send them a link to your consultation calendar? Do they call you? Do they email you? What happens after that, right? Like, there's so many sub buckets that you could be capitalizing on. For example, if you have somebody who's inquired but not scheduled a consultation, right? You could easily bop and say, I know we connected on Instagram. I just want to send you a $5 coffee. I'd love, the chance to chat with you if you want to grab a treat, from your local Starbucks, and if you want to sip on it while we have a consultation, I'd love to chat with you more about your brand. Bam, right? You can apply what I'm saying to a lot of the different categories that we talk about. That's like if someone hasn't even scheduled yet, right? But they've expressed interest in working with you. They've seen something that you've put out. They were referred to you in some way, right? Next version, right? You could say, okay, they had a consultation with me, right? I just taught you the BOP, but what could you do? Like if it's been a couple weeks and they haven't responded, right? You could do, like, if you've got some people in your pipeline right now that you're like, oh yeah, I had a consult with them last week. Instead of just following up again, send them a card, send them an e-card, the Starbucks thing. Right now, do it today. Why not? It's cost you $5, right? It's the cheapest marketing you're going to have, right? But now let's get to the point where they're actually your client. So client retains you, right? They pay whatever, amount your trademarks cost. How many of you have something you do send, something at that point that's like a sparkle, wow, like they just paid you a considerable amount of money, right? So how many of you have something that you do already? And if you're comfortable sharing, please share with the group if you are. If not, please tell me. So Glenessa, yes, we're going to talk about past clients as in like the registrations and all of that shortly, but I'm talking about people where you're currently like in the search stage or in application stage or office action stage. Like they're somewhere from like moment of retaining you, but not registration yet. Like we're in that middle zone. Good. Brittany, let me know how it goes. Good. I love that, Radiance. Yeah. I've seen your stuff on Instagram, Radiance. I've seen you Instagram, like I think you put like a business card in there and stuff. I like that. I've seen that before. The framing is awesome. We'll get to that. Oh, awesome. I love the planners, checklist. Awesome. Good. Personal interest. Absolutely. So you want to have a process in place and you need to systematize it, right? So for example, many of you here have taken 2 weeks of trademarks, which I appreciate you for enrolling. And if you've been a student recently, you know that there are 2 versions of the program, right? There's Boss of Myself and there's Boss of an Empire, where we teach you all about how to build your trademark practice, how to practice everything, right? Boss of an Empire is the premium one, right? Where I teach you a lot of this marketing stuff. I get on the phone with you. We do coaching calls. It's really premium level. And I'm here grooming you from the bottom up, right? By the way, if you're an Empire student and you haven't scheduled your call, please do so. A lot of you have, but just as a reminder. Now, many of you who are Empire students, put a 1 if you have received a cookie from me. Put a 1. I know there's a lot of you here. I will wait. So the point of this example is that there is a process in place. Charlotte, who is my executive assistant and master of all things gifting. Hi, Charlotte. We love you. We appreciate you very much. Okay. Charlotte is the woman behind that magic, right? We have a system in place, right? To say, hey, somebody enrolled in 2 weeks of trademarks, get a cookie out today. We know the website, you have the credit card, like their addresses when they place the order, like they get a cookie. Yes, unfortunately, we started doing that, we started doing that recently, but hey, Ed, you don't need 2 weeks of trademarks. You're like the trademark master. Like you don't need me. Maybe some of the other classes, I don't know to what extent, but probably not 2 weeks of trademarks, right? But yeah, we send every single person who enrolls in Boss of an Empire a cookie that says, you got this. And I love that they deliver and that they get to see it's a little surprise, right? It's a system is the point I'm trying to get at. So Charlotte already knows, like, hey, we saw an enrollment come in, let's get a cookie out the door, right? When it was just the Sonia show back in 2015 and it was clients, right? I had a weekly hour and said, all right, cookies are getting sent out. So that's why I said the Post-it notes, because throughout the week, jot down whatever's happening, right? Someone sends you a referral. Okay, get something out to them. New client, 3 new clients signed up. Okay, something to them, right? It's got to be like clockwork. It happens, right? Yes, you guys, 7 figures last year. I mean, obviously, like it took time to get there, but there's no reason that you can't do this stuff. And I swear on my life, it works. I wouldn't be sitting here teaching you, and Alt Legal would not have booked me to tell you guys about this stuff if it didn't work. Seriously, seriously. All right, so let me scroll. Okay, we're having some conversations about cookies. 2 weeks of trademarks. I think somebody placed a link if you want to opt in for more information. Obviously, happy to chat with you about that later. So again, what's your first step? How do you introduce yourself to a client? The Starbucks e-thing is great if you want to do as like right after the consult, but then after they've paid you, now you can get a book out in the mail, right? Now you can send a handwritten because there's more of a delay. Amazon, if you have Prime, and if you don't, you should invest in it. It's like a one-time fee or whatever, but think about how quickly things arrive to you on Amazon, right? Why can't you go on there, order a book, mark it as a gift, and put a little note in there, right? Why can't you do that? It's super easy, super simple. But yes, you've got to have it part of your workflow to do these things, right? Same thing to Glenessa's point, to Radiance's point, a few other people talked about this. How do you wrap up a client matter? Obviously in our world, that's like, for example, the trademark registers, you get like the fancy, certificate. Do you frame it? Do you put it in like a cool box? I know some of my attorneys in my community are doing that. You could put it in a nice branded folder. You could do all kinds of stuff, right? Enclose a handwritten note. Again, that's why I said the cards, the stamps, right? You want to have a kit, right? This is where I was saying that like the stuff I'm saying isn't going to shock you, right? Like Starbucks exists, you know that, but to show you how you can part of your daily life. Now that is something people are just not doing. They're not, right? So what can you do as far as, your options here? So put in something handwritten and enclose it. Again, sit down once a week and do all these for whoever needs them, right? I'm not saying you need to do it like all day, every day, whatever. Now, you want to have a kit. So going back to the things that I talked about before, have all these things in like an empty shoebox or like one of those nice plastic boxes, like the Container Store. Have a kit and have it handy so that when you sit down, you can just knock it out, right? Systems, we want to make it easy. Have it stocked with stamps and business cards. If you're sending something handwritten, always throw in your business card, always, right? Okay, so that's current clients. Now, we did the workshop. We talked about that. Now, past clients. You must hate money if your past clients have not heard from you in a while. So I'm going to take a poll here. When was the last time you sent something to a client whose registration was in 2019? Have they heard from you since that? Yes or no? Just a simple yes or no. I'm asking. Okay, so the question here at hand is, client registered in 2019 or before. Have they heard from you since then? Like in any capacity? Okay, I'm seeing some yeses, good. Is it just a holiday thing? Okay, all right, it's just a holiday thing. Okay, so this is good because you guys are already used to something kind of annual. I want to crank up the dial here. Holiday season is awesome. Might want to get started now if that's what you're interested in. Just FYI, it is end of October, so this shit takes time to get into place. But here is what I would like to encourage you to do. Have a yearly thing that you do outside of the holidays, right? Holidays are awesome, but the fact of the matter is, you guys, the reality is that it does get lost in the shuffle. I get so many holiday cards and gifts and things that it gets buried. There is just a ton of correspondence, right? Stacks and stacks of cards. But how many people do you know that do like a Thanksgiving card or 4th of July? Right? I know exactly one firm that does 4th of July. I know one guy, Dan Nguyen, who you guys, some of you may know, he's a trademark lawyer. He does Chinese New Year, right? My thing is New Year's, like actual New Year's in January, just FYI, in case you're wondering, right? But have something that you do that's regular and it's an excuse to reach out, but that's like something different, right? So you can do holidays if you want to. I'm not here to hate on the holiday season at all. I love it. But I'm just saying something new, something different, right? To give you a reason to check in. Now, I'm skipping past the workshop because time-wise with the tech stuff, unfortunately, we're not able to get to exactly everything. But here's something else that I want to share with you guys. Life After Circle R is a brand spanking new training, okay, that is just went up on my website. 6 ways to create revenue and continue adding value to your client's brand, right? As in, okay, the registration's done. It's over. I sent it. I did something nice with it, Sonia. I put a note. Yes, I reach out during the holidays, but what if you could continue adding value, right? What if you could create more revenue stream from that one client relationship and then continue getting more referrals, right? How many of you have asked yourself this question, like, what do I do after the registration? Thank you. I'm so glad. Good. Okay. How many of you have asked yourself, put a me, right? You just put a me in the chat. If you've wondered, like, okay, what can I do after the registration issues, right? Like, what can you do? So I got news for you. There's 6 things you can do, 6 at least, and it might jog some more ideas, right? Of ways you can step in and help, other ways to add value, other ways to, create revenue that will help the client. It helps you. There are additional services you could offer past the registration, right? So take a look at that if you're interested, but it's super brand new. We just recorded it last week. Lindsay Corbin of Delegate Legal and I teamed up, and it is on purpose, super affordable. Like, unlike a lot of my stuff, which is really premium as it should be, because I'm teaching you great stuff, that is super affordable, no excuses, and it's for the less of 1 hour of most people's hourly rate that you're going to learn 6 ways to get at least $5,000-$10,000 of additional revenue from a client relationship. So that's that, right? Past clients, if you're not doing some of this stuff, you must hate money, I guess. Now, referral sources, we want to keep the gas going, okay? Do you have the data ready? We talked about this. Now you got to track your ROI, right? We have to make sure that every client or potential client, right, that you talk to, right, on a consultation, even if they DM you on Instagram. I know a lot of my attorneys here are Instagram users. You guys are awesome. You're posting all day and you're obviously going to get DMs and inquiries, right? Do you ask as part of your initial intake consultation to ask, hey, just out of curiosity, how'd you hear about me? Yes or no? I just want to hear yes or no. Who's got that as part of their scripting to ask? And are you tracking it somewhere? Is there like a detailed record? Again, like if I came into your house today, right? I'm assuming most of us are working from home. If I came into your computer, could I see a list of your last however many inquiries and where they came from? Like, could you attribute it directly? Like, oh, these 16 came from Instagram. These 2 people came from so-and-so. Sonia referred me one. I've been known to do that from time to time. Could you guys do that? And if not, BYOL, this is something that goes on your to-do list, right? Like, start today, start a spreadsheet, a Google Doc if you must, right? Get your sources so that you can track what you're spending on, right? If you're on Instagram all day long, right, posting and doing stuff, and nobody of the last 50 people who's contacted you said they heard about you through Instagram, nix it. You don't need to be doing that. Why are you posting just because everybody else is, right? Like, why are we torturing ourselves? Whatever the 50 people are saying is where they found you, rinse and repeat that. Because I have news for you guys. You don't need to do all the things. Like, you need to pick 1 or 2 things and do them super well. I didn't even have an active Instagram beyond the last year or 2. And that was well after my practice had taken off because I was doing all this stuff instead. Right? I was like, I don't understand Instagram. I don't understand hashtags. I don't want to deal with it, whatever. And I was like, I didn't really see a huge ROI. Now we're starting to get more of it, right? But that's like way later. So I was putting my eggs in this stuff, this basket, right? So you don't have to be on Instagram. You don't have to be on Twitter doing all this stuff if no one is hearing from you and they're not saying that's how they found you, right? So ask, but you're not going to know unless you ask. So you have to make it part of your regular intake consultation script to ask every time. And to that point, I want you to develop a tier of gift ideas and dollar amounts that are kind of commensurate with a referral source's effort. So this right here is a screenshot, right? You're going to get these slides, obviously, but this is a screenshot. And I'll explain why, okay? This is my referral source matrix, okay? So let me explain some mathematics that we have here. I love charts so much. Okay, so across the top, we've got level 1, 2, and 3 as an example, right? Going down the left, we've got frequency, quality, and revenue. Okay. Now, again, like a lot of things, this is designed to get you going here to figure out how you can apply and implement this to your own practice, your own brand, right? You can copy it straight. I have zero problem. All of my stuff is rob and take. I have no problem. But also, if you want to adapt it, like do so, right? If it works differently for you, better, go right ahead. But this is the first takeaway that I want you guys to really think about here. And gosh, I wish we had more time because I've got so much I want to share, but that's okay. If you have somebody, right, that is continuously turning up on that list, you know, on this previous slide, when I say make it part of your intake and consultation to ask. And if like 10 people from that list have said, yeah, I got your name from Radiance. I got your name from Radiance. She talks really highly about you, Radiance. If Radiance is showing up over and over in my tracking, right, and no one has retained me of those people, right? So they've all heard about me through Radiance, but like one person needed more time. One people didn't like my price. Okay. Radiance needs to get something from me. Why? Because she is out here trying to be my sales force. She is out here trying to help, right? So should she or should she not get something that like maybe a book in the mail, maybe something, you know, thank you, Radiance. I know you are. And I practice what I preach. So don't think you're not going to, you know, just wait a little bit to your holiday season. Okay. Just wait. Don't think I don't practice what I preach, because I do. There are many people in this group. I have sent books and coffee and this and wine and whatever. Like I practice what I preach. There's a line item in our firm budget for like gifts. Charlotte can tell you, we send shit to people all the time, right? We do. So my point here is that I don't care if nobody has retained you from somebody that's been continuously sending you stuff. They are out here trying, right? So that's your level one. Sends you referrals all year long. They are out here they love you and they are trying. But you know what? For whatever reason, they don't retain you. Some of them might not even contact you, but like you're copied on an email and you followed up and nothing ever happened. Why is that person not getting something from you after like 4 or 5 of them, right? Quarterly, even once a year during your holiday season? Like, why are they not on your holiday list, right? Because the fact is, like, we're looking at someone's effort toward us, right? It's about expressing gratitude. We are developing those relationships. We are maintaining them, right? You don't maintain a relationship with somebody but only looking at the money, right? Life is about more than that. And this is why this stuff works, because you're taking the business out of it and you're just being a human again. You're expressing gratitude for the range of things that somebody could be doing for you. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, you guys? Okay. Number 2, tier 2, right? Or actually, let me go to 3 and then we'll come to 2, right? Number 3, right? On the other end of the spectrum, we're saying, you know what? Somebody might send you 1 or 2 clients like all year long, right? Here and there, but like they're almost always a slam dunk. They're like all net, right? They're almost always a good matter, good case, good clients. Like, but you know what? Like it just only appears once or twice, right? I get it. Like that's easier for some of us to understand because you're like, make me money, I give you gift, right? It's very like linear, like very like monotone, right? That's the other end of the spectrum. Obviously, we're getting bottles of champ out. We are doing wine. You know, someone said this earlier, and I'm going to show it to you guys in a later slide. But it goes without saying, like the second someone mentions that they're really into cigars or they love lilies or, you know, whatever, you are notating that in your CRM, in your spreadsheet. Client loves this. You know, Brittany sent me a trademark matter. She posted the other day on Instagram about how she loves sangria. Okay, we know that now, right? So get people things they love. There are obviously like, you know, lots of options, especially safe options, right? Like Starbucks, look, there's tea, there's coffee, there's cookies there, whatever. That's why I like it, because it's so safe, right? And they can give it away at worst case, like fine, you know, they hated it. But when you can find something that somebody loves and notate that, and they said it once, or they didn't even tell you, right? But they posted it on their Instagram, right? Like if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I love Cheez-Its. I've probably posted about it like 60 times in the last couple of weeks. I love Cheez-Its, right? I swear to God, I have a family size box in this cupboard behind me. Like, so, you know, if you ever want to send me something, I will take a box of Cheez-Its, $3.99, $6.99. I will take it for the family size, right? But if I never told you that and you just follow me on Instagram and you sent me that, like imagine what that does. Phil is right. It does take time, right? But if you are looking at your business and looking at your revenue and upset that you don't have the numbers and the growth that you want, you got to spend the time, because I got news for you. Either you're going to spend time doing this stuff, or you're going to spend money paying for leads and Find Law and Avo, whatever. And that's way more of a gamble than this is. Like, I promise you, because I've been doing this for a long time, right? And I don't know many trademark attorneys that have single-handedly reached the levels that I have. Not even financially, right? But also like the brand recognition and the relationship levels that I have. There are people I haven't spoken to in years, because like I haven't seen them in Atlanta. I don't live in Atlanta anymore, right? But that's where my practice is based, because that's where I started it, right? They still send me business, right? So I may not have spoken to them or seen them in an event, but they send me business, and then one of these happens. So that's your two ends of the spectrum. Middle zone is like the mixed bag. Some of the people they send retain, some of them don't, kind of, I don't know, whatever. Again, something's going out to them. But the level one is really where I want you to focus your efforts, because I suspect that that's not enough of what's happening for a lot of you guys. Like they send you stuff and like nothing ever happened because of it. Like they didn't retain you. So you didn't think that something needed to happen, and it does. A book, a card, something, some sort of acknowledgement. And I will tell you from firsthand experience, right? Being that I only do trademarks, as in I don't do contracts, I don't do formations, I don't do anything else. I don't even do adversarial trademarks. Like the second somebody's breeding differently, I'm like, nope, don't want it, referring it out. T-tab, like all that kind of stuff, like not my jam, right? I send out so many referrals daily. Like I hand out business in every zone, and the amount of acknowledgement, gifts, forget it. And I don't do it for that. I don't, but I'm just saying, as someone who has experienced it, it's not that common. So again, I reiterate that if you are struggling with this idea, how do I differentiate myself? Everyone's doing trademarks now. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm just one of many. Maybe on Instagram you are, but who said you have to do all the things? No one said that. Do this stuff instead. And when you remember that someone loves lilies and you send a little batch over, right? That's going to do way more for you than an Instagram post. I promise you. So I want to share some stories of gift ideas. This is the equivalent of like Zoom meeting audio only, as in like, you don't have to get dressed up, no video. It's like, oh, the best thing ever, right? Cheryl's Cookies, you guys know that those of you in 2 weeks of trademarks, I send a $5 thing. Starbucks e-gift cards, Amazon Prime is your friend. I also love Sugarfina. Monica Galarte, who may or may not be in this session. If you are, hi, Monica. She did exactly what I taught once. She heard that I loved Snickers, sent me a 3-pound bag. Okay, so good ideas. Gift ideas on the other end. Toilet paper in March 2020, as in disaster zone. Like stay away from these concepts. Shipping cookies in the shape of my firm's business card. That wasn't the problem. It was that I shipped them myself. Like bubble wrapped and everything. They still crumbled. It was embarrassing. It was years ago. We don't do that anymore. Shipping bottles of Dom Perignon myself. Also, I like Drizzly, D-R-I-Z-L-Y, for alcohol deliveries. I will be sharing with you guys, by the way, in a minute, if you want a list of like over 30 tried, tested, good gift ideas, both monetary and free, tangible, intangible, like some of them you can do online, but an extensive list of stuff that I've tried, loved, people have, enjoyed it. I'm going to get that to you guys for free. So just wait for a second. You'll get a link to download that freebie as a thank you for attending my talk. Anything diet or fitness related, abort mission. Oh my God, I cannot stress this enough, along with body size. Anything that you're choosing, body size, anything like that, be super careful. Absolutely. You guys are going to get that list. No problem. Okay. So your turn. Amazon Prime is your friend. As I've mentioned, you're going to get a list of 30 plus tried and tested tangible and intangible gift ideas. This is completely free from me to you. My team put it together. Charlotte, if you could please share that link, or someone from Alt Legal, they have it for you as well. It's just a free, abort mission. It's a free gift just from me to you. It's a whole list. Just download it, use it, wow people, wow, get on with your wow factor stuff, okay? Like I said, I had to rush through some of this due to the technical difficulties, but and I feel bad because there was more in this that I would have liked. Can someone please place that link in the chat? There we go. Thank you. Free download from me to you, just no obligation. And again, just so that we can stay in touch. Whoops. Let me go ahead real quickly. There we go. So Facebook Lawyers Group, there's a link if you're not a member already. Gift ideas, there's a free list. My complete course list. And then, as I mentioned, the After the Circle R is a new training, brand spanking new that we just released. We just uploaded it this morning to my store. And it's $297. It's super affordable. If you can't tell me that you don't want to invest that to learn 6 ways to monetize your client relationships after the registration is issued, you know. So let me go over a last couple things since we're almost at time. Okay. These are some action items that you can do. I want you to think of one thing that you can do, right? One new thing when you onboard a new client or when you wrap up a client matter, like how you give the registration, how you say thank you for retaining on the front end, right? Anything. Think of one new thing, right? Contact 3 past clients each week coming up for the next 90 days with a note, small token. So if you registered somebody's mark in the first half of 2020 or anytime last year, or, you know, keep going backward, contact 3 new people, check in and say hello, send them a little something, just get back in touch, you guys. If you want something actionable that you can work on, these are ways that you can create, literally create your own revenue and your own trajectory, right? You don't have to wait for people to send you leads. You don't have to wait for things to happen to you. Right? Get with your assistant, VA. If you don't have a VA, that's a whole nother topic, but we'll get to that someday. Go ahead and download the list of free gift ideas. Recommended reading, people always ask. So I've placed a few of my favorites so that you can read more. Of the 4 of these, I loved Giftology. That is where I derived a lot of my concepts from, and Endless Referrals. Those bookended ones are like my 2 favorite. And then the ones in the middle are really good as well. And then, like I said, let's stay in touch. If you're IG, Trademark Lawyer Lady, for sure, please join my Facebook group. I'd love to have you. We're like 1,500 lawyers and counting, and it's a great conversation all the time. If you're interested in 2 weeks to trademarks, this talk is not about that, but I do teach a comprehensive online course for attorneys just like you who are interested in obviously learning and bettering their practice of law from searches and applications and office actions, right? But also how to monetize, how to market. So if you liked what you heard, the 2 weeks of trademarks program might be a good fit for you. There are many attorneys in here who can tell you that the investment kicked off their practice and really put them in shape to grow. So we'll drop a link to that as well. My website, all my resources, has tons of ways to contact me. Thank you, Matthew. I'm glad that you enjoy the group. Yeah, I love having it. I love running it with you guys. But seriously, I mean this. If you guys need anything at all, I'm more than happy to do it. Like I promised in the beginning, if you want me to do like an encore tonight, like an IG live, thank you. I appreciate that. If you want me to do an IG live, we can do that like tonight, tomorrow, or after the conference ends. Like I can do an encore. I will make myself available. One last thing, since I just hit time. As part of my group, I am starting a new free monthly virtual happy hour. So Charlotte will drop the details in there. It's like virtual mastermind meets happy hour meets venting about things. Just all the things. So I'm starting that soon. It's completely free. It's just a way for me to interact with you guys once a month. The first one is November 4 at 5 p.m. Eastern. Charlotte, please chime in and let me make sure that's correct. But all you have to do is just be part of the Facebook group and be there. That's it. Like that's all you need. And we're going to do it monthly. Yes. Yes. If you need anything at all, and I mean anything, I'm a message away on all of these and more. Just find me. And you'll get the slides, right? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we will send out slides.
Thank you guys for joining. I'm sorry we had to rush through some of this, but technology just will not let us be great sometimes.
Wonderful.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Elizabeth.
So, our very next session, thank you so much for that, Sonia.
You're
It was
welcome.
wonderful. And I think everybody took something from that. Our next session is speed networking. That will take place outside of Brella, but there is a link in the schedule page. So make sure to follow that link. We'll also put that in the chat. If that's not your jam, you can join us afterwards at 4:30 Eastern time for Getting Into the Weeds, Cannabis Law and IP Protection. So I hope to see you at Speed Networking in just a moment. Thank you so very much.
I will be there.
Thanks again, Sonia.
You're welcome. I forgot that was right after my session, and what beautiful timing. See, technology hates me, but also it helps me because now we can just, I will just divert right into that and try and stay. Let me look at my calendar, but I think that I should be able to at least pop on for the first few minutes. So I'll see you guys there.
We'd love to have you. Okay, see everybody there. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.